Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. How's it going? Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. Today we're going to look at the FOMC. We're going to take a look at Facebook earnings. We're going to take a look at the cannabis stocks, which is interesting, starting to rise a little bit. Is it time to buy yet? We're going to determine what levels it's time to buy. We're going to take a look at sector rotation. But I think most importantly, we're going to take a look at how resilient this market is right now. We had every reason in the world to trade off, sell lower yesterday after the FOMC interest rate announcement, and we didn't. Pretty impressive, pretty impressive. If you were day trading, it was a little bit choppy. We had a couple of tech stocks that were super strong yesterday. We're also going to talk about a financial stock that's resting right at a breakout level and just continuing to stay there, going to be on the top of our list. We're looking for follow through on a solar stock today. So stick around. We'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so as with everything we discuss here on these videos, these are all for educational purposes. This is my game plan. These are the actual stocks I'm looking to trade today, but you need to make your own financial decisions. So the market, wow, inflation. I think Jerome Powell said it 10 times yesterday. The market had every reason in the world to collapse. It didn't. Interesting, really, really interesting. So we're actually going to zoom over and take a look at the 5-minute chart of the SPY ETF yesterday. We're going to go over into sectors, and then we're going to go over into the cannabis stocks. So we actually have a lot to cover today. We're going to get right into it. I want to respect your time. If you find these videos helpful, definitely click down and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Smash the like button. That would be awesome too. But more importantly, I want to help you. I want to help you as much as I possibly can through these videos. Interesting. We're going to talk about the Facebook metaverse that Mark Zuckerberg keeps talking about, which is kind of what we're doing right now. Leave a comment. I really want to help you. Let me know what you're struggling with. Let me know what your biggest challenges are. And those are usually tools for me to come up with new videos so that I know I can help you specifically. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I want to help. So we're going to head on over to the market. We're going to take a look at, as I said, we're going to take a look at the, let me just get this off the screen here for a second. We're going to take a look at the price action after the FOMC announcement yesterday. Okay, so this is yesterday's price action, and this is the announcement. And you can see it spiked down, it spiked up, and we had a nice rally. This is really what inflation, just incredible. The market is so resilient right now, almost to the point where the VIX is going down. The market internals are all pointing towards bullish price action. But it's hard to, here's the biggest thing. We talk all the time about being a trader and putting those pieces together and building the argument. There haven't been a lot of earnings that have blown the expectations out of the water. Even Facebook, which we're going to talk about in a second. Facebook was getting crushed yesterday afternoon. We'll take a look at where it is right now. So if we're thinking about, we're buying now for the next quarter or the future. I know the whole world is just focused on the next quarter right now. And hardly any earnings would blow out, where especially the bigger tech stocks, none of them exploded higher after earnings. You have to really think, is that a caution flag? I'm not saying we're not going up. We are still going up. However, these are the kind of things that you gain experience, and you have to put that in the back of your mind and say that if selling starts to come into the market, you really need to respect your risk. You really need to decide whether or not you're going to be adding to positions. We actually had a good question in our coaching call last night about when to add to a position, how to add to a position, how many shares to put on in the initial part of the trade. If you want to get on our coaching calls, click the link below the video. I'll show you how. So anyway, we had a really good push after the FOMC announcement, a little bit of selling at the end of the day. But man, what a resilient market. So now it's a question of, can we follow through? We pushed up, we paused, we're kind of hanging out there. We need to see, do new buyers come back in? What's in the back of my mind right now is the current earnings season and how that's unfolding. Apple did not go up after earnings. Facebook got hit hard after earnings. Starbucks got hit after earnings. So we have to pay attention to that. Tesla went down after, well, Tesla went up a little bit, but it's kind of just dancing around right now. So nothing blew everything out of the water. So you got to remember, when you're watching these earnings reports, we're buying what's going to happen, not what happened, which is actually why Facebook stock went down yesterday. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But let's go right over into the sectors, because it's important for us to start out here, which is what we do here every day. So if you're new to stock trading, I just can't express this strongly enough. When you're trading, it's easiest to feel confident. It's easiest to have conviction when you are first looking for where the smart money is actually putting their dollars. There's no reason for us to guess. We're looking for where the deep pockets, the big smart money on Wall Street, who have deep research teams, are actually allocating their money. And the fastest way to do that is to start out with sector rotation. So we start out with the market, and then we go into sector rotation. And as you can see right now, basic materials is working its way back towards the high. So we actually initiated trades in 2 basic materials yesterday, and we'll take a look at that in a second. But what's interesting is financial stocks, technology stocks kind of working their way towards a little bit lower move. Energy stocks starting to float their way towards the top. So the two that have right now become interesting that weren't interesting even a week ago, basic materials and energy stocks starting to wake up a little bit. And we're going to take a look at a couple of stocks like Hess, CVX, tracking the money, going on a treasure hunt every day. This is where trading becomes easy. So I'm showing you the process. It's just a question of doing the steps every day. If you want to make big money, you got to do a little bit extra work. And that's what we're showing you how to do. We're giving you the steps to do that. So those are the sectors that are starting to work their way into the market. Now we're actually going to work our way over into some individual trades. So as we talked about before, we are looking at cannabis stocks. And are the cannabis stocks a buying opportunity? So if we zoom out a little bit now, what's super interesting, very similar to the way Tilray broke this downtrend and had a rally essentially from 15 to, let's say, 22, 23. We're kind of doing the same exact thing right now, but what's really, really significant, and we had similar price action in a couple of basic material stocks yesterday, which I'll show you in a second. It's not so much only the price action. It's amazing that it was up this much in one day. What's really more important is the fact that it went up and went up where a lot of other people, meaning smart money, who created this big volume candle, participated. So again, if you learn nothing from me at all, price action with significant volume matters. That's all you need to pay attention to start out, to start understanding where is the smart money allocating their budget, where are they building positions, where are they dumping positions. But let's stick with buying because that's just easy to wrap your head around. We're looking for pockets of opportunity where, oh my gosh, it went up. And it went up with a lot of volume, because when it goes up with volume and breaks a trend like that, that's significant. So that's why we're going to be watching Tilray today. Now, does that mean Tilray, CGC, buying opportunities today? We're just going to jump right in. GRWG, those are the top 3 cannabis stocks that I'm looking to buy. No, it doesn't mean today. It means that we're probably actively trading them on a short term. But to build a swing trade position, we need the argument to be a little bit better. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like right now. So what's interesting about Tilray right now is if we go a little bit deeper into some key moving averages that a lot of traders use. Matter of fact, they're kind of self-fulfilling prophecies at this point. You can see the 200 period moving average here, which is kind of that longer term bullish or bearish line in the sand. You can see Tilray got right up to there. And then the next one is the 50 period simple moving average. It's very close to both of them. That means that there's significant resistance just above where we are right now. And you can see that we're right there. If Tilray gets above this 16.75, maybe even above the $17 level today early, it could be a very good stock to actively day trade today. If we push up, that means that we will now have multiple days where order flow increase. So when we're looking at that price action and volume, that's order flow. It's big orders going into the stock, and that's what sees that spike. So again, that's where we start. Where did the spike in order flow go? If you think about it, if you're Goldman Sachs, you're a big hedge fund, you want to allocate money to a stock because you think right now it's a decent price, but you believe you want to see it go up there. For some reason, you believe it's going up there. So you need to start buying that right now. That's where that spike in volume happens. So if it gets above Tilray, if it gets above $17, that's where I'll start to look a little bit longer term. But right now, because we're only trading with 1 day of buying pressure, then it's only a short-term trade for me. So if you think about it if you are looking at something and you want to know the demand of something. Did it just go up yesterday? Did it go up for the last 2 weeks? Did it go up for the last 2 months? The more money that's allocated to that, and the more of these same signals with big green candles with big volume, the more of those signals, the more actual money was allocated to that idea. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to put these clues together in the simplest way so we could make confident trading decisions. So Tilray above 17 starts to get interesting. Right now, it's a day trade for me, or maybe even a 1 or 2 day trade, maybe a Thursday, Friday trade, looking for it to push up, get above those key moving averages, pause on lighter volume, and then look for the next move. So Tilray is one of the main stocks we're going to be keeping an eye on today, and I just gave you the levels. If it gets past 17, then we're looking at 19, maybe even 20. CGC is the other one that I'm looking at. You can see the volume has increased dramatically right around 20, so above 20 is a significant level. Has a long way to get to those other key moving averages. That just shows you how beaten down Tilray was. And GRWG is actually above the 200, right at the 50, and holding right around 42. And the next level here, so this has a $10 window. So does that mean I'm just getting in there and building positions? No. The first signs of order flow are what I'm trading right now. So the shorter term, the order flow, it's waking up. They just put the sign out there, like Jesse Livermore says. They put out the sign, and it's attracting people now. It's attracting attention. This is the first time they're starting to allocate a position. So I'm going to build or work my way into how long I trade this position, following what the smart money are doing. So right now it's an active trade for me. If it perks up and we see it happening for more than just a day or two, then I'll consider a longer term trade, because that means that the smart money is building a position for a longer term push. Okay. So we're going to work our way over now into Facebook, and we're going to take a look and see what the Facebook news was. First, earnings came out. Earnings were great. They blew away all the numbers. Everything looked amazing. But the problem with Facebook right now is they are competing with last year's pandemic numbers. And a lot of companies, when you read their financial reports, it's last quarter and then year over year. So 12 months ago is when the market was raging to the upside, and it was all pandemic fueled. Everybody was home. So right now, the Facebook numbers, while really good, were competing against last year and for the rest of this year. So they put a tepid guidance on back half of 2021, but still expecting to have really strong numbers. So the numbers were great, but they're compared to a year ago. So that's why Facebook got hit really hard. So we'll take a look at that chart right now. Oh, and also what I mentioned before about Facebook, about the metaverse. The metaverse is bringing virtual reality, so we could actually have this meeting kind of virtually in person, which is kind of interesting and scary at the same time. So anyway, Facebook was actually down here. It's basically where it was last night, right around 358. So we're looking for Facebook to find some buyers today, right at the breakout level, which is a pretty significant thing. This keeping your technical analysis and your chart reading simple is easier to have conviction. There's no other way to put it. So this is where it blasted up from last time. So that's going to be the level we're going to be watching. Can it hold the 358 level today? So we're going to work our way over into Bitcoin and Bitcoin related stocks. So obviously, if you've been following Bitcoin, you know it crashed down below 30. That was a big level, 30,000, and had a 10,000 point rally. And that was paused for a couple of days. So what we do is we segue over the same way we look at sectors and which stocks to trade. Now we work our way over into Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin stocks that we have been trading have been Mara and Riot. And again, one of our co-moderators in the room, Aldo, is all over these stocks. He's got a very good read on them. He introduced which stocks to trade in the community. And now what's interesting is they both had bullish gaps, one here and one here, but they really haven't been that tradable over the last couple of days. So now they pushed and paused. So if you remember what we just said about Tilray, we wanted to see a little bit more price action than just one day. So now these stocks have about a week, almost 7 days, pushed up and paused, gapped up and paused. So now Mara and Riot are both going to be on my radar today, looking for new bullish moves coming out of this 2-day pause. Going to work our way now over into basic materials. And I'm actually going to go full screen here. And we're going to work into NUE. I'm going to give you a big list of basic material stocks. So NUE is one that we have on our radar right now. And these are essentially basic material stocks. Again, going through the list of sector rotations, starting with the smart money. Basic materials have been strong over the week, the month, and yesterday had a good day. So we're just going in and tracking the smart money. And I can't stress this enough. I hope you're watching these videos as often as possible and hit that subscribe button, because not only are we giving picks of stocks going into my game plan, but I want to try and teach you to have the confidence to understand why I'm looking at these stocks, because then the more confidence you have, the more dialogue we can have, the more comments you can leave, the more good questions you can leave below. And that's really where trading becomes fun, because you're no longer guessing. I actually had a comment from somebody yesterday who asked if we just hope stocks go up, and that's why we call them out. And no, nothing could be further from the truth. We have a process. We have an edge. And quite frankly, some stocks make money, some stocks lose money. That's a part of the business. Any business has expenses. To believe that you're going to open up any business and have no expenses truly means you don't know what you're getting involved with. There's losses in trading. It's not a question of having losses. It's a question of keeping them small and then learning how to grow bigger revenues, meaning how to hold the right trades longer to make bigger money. So we're following the smart money into basic materials, and we're starting to pay attention to how much money they're committing based on what I taught you before, the big green candles with big volume. So now a couple of the ones that we're looking at this week, we talked about NUE, and these are the ones that have been strongest for the week. MP, Rio, you see where they're starting to perk up. They're starting to get to different levels. And DOW. DOW, again, not bullish order flow in the traditional sense right now, but something is changing. Something is changing. And we kind of mentioned that before, the same thing in some of the energy stocks. So Hess, not quite perfect by any stretch of the imagination. This does not look like this, but this is interesting. So again, remember what we said. Something changed. Big green candle, money. Do they follow it up today? That's what we're going to be paying attention to. Two other stocks that I'm going to be watching today. We mentioned the financial stock, Morgan Stanley, holding comfortably. And to give you some context about where this is, it is at all-time highs. So Morgan Stanley is sitting just in front of all-time highs. And one of the stocks that we traded most actively yesterday, AMD, looking for follow-through today. Looks like it's opening a little bit lower, but that's fine. It was a vicious move to the upside yesterday. And we're looking for one more day in JKS today, but actually it looks like it's already opening higher. So I truly hope that I'm helping you learn more about the stock market and which stocks to buy, make your own decisions. It really means a lot to me that if you smash that like button, it lets me know that I'm providing value for you. So again, if you have any questions, leave them below. I always get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If we've made a difference for you and helped you get a little bit more confident, I'm so happy for you, because that's really why I do it. It's my mission to get you past the point where it's confusing, so you actually can go and look at stuff and say, I know what I'm looking at. And now it's just a question of learning how to actually be a trader. Remember, there's finding ideas, and then there's learning how to make money. Buying stocks and then holding those stocks for the right amount of time. It's that last piece that separates you from a chart reader who knows what they're looking at to a trader who knows how to make money. And if I can help you do that too, that would be awesome. If you want to learn how to be with me for the next 30 days, it's not a subscription. It's just a 30-day boot camp. Click the link below the video. I'd love to see you on the other side. So have an awesome day. Let's see if the market holds the resiliency that we saw yesterday. If it does, we'll get in there and we'll mix it up. If it doesn't, we'll be smart and we'll manage risk together. All right. Have an awesome day, everybody. I'll speak to you soon.